Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to put the chat up. Oh, there you are, sis. Hello, everyone. So sorry for the technical issues. Oh my gosh. I just felt like it was going to happen. So I apologize in advance for making everyone wait. I don't know how many people are on here. I can't really tell in this new system that I'm using. I'm going to also try to teeter between this and the back end of YouTube, but I can see like there's at least one person on this end. So hopefully, folks will also see the new link in the original live. The thing that happened just quickly, while maybe I just go over this, I'll probably go over this again if other people join, but what happened was I pre-scheduled the live as you're supposed to do, but for whatever reason, Restream did not sync up that pre-scheduled live to this one. So it was just kind of a little bit all over the place. Hey, Julia, thank you so much for joining. Sorry for the delay. I am using Restream and it's a little wonky to say the least. And so, yeah, here we are. So hopefully most people will be navigating their way over here. To this particular link. I tried to make sure that I put the link for this new live in the original chat of the live. So the moral of the story is that I more than likely can only, I guess, kind of create a notification. I'm going to try to figure out how to make sure that, again, when I put a notification with a link to a web stream, it syncs up with Restream. But as of right now, it didn't do it. And so it just, when I went live, it basically created a brand new event. So again, I apologize and I thank everyone who's joining so far. Sister dear, thank you so much for joining. Sauce, welcome to the live. And hopefully more people will navigate in through, again, the original link. Try to post in my community page, try to post in the original URL link, and hopefully just people aren't confused. I'm a little bit ticked off as someone who is this is kind of what I do. Like I create digital content. I understand like how to put together a live presentation. So for it to be wonky on a system that I feel like I've used and tested is kind of annoying, but this is just what it is. So anyway, thank you, Julia, for understanding. So today's live is just, I really wanted to make sure that as I bark into more face lives, I've done face lives in the past, just tinkering, doing stuff around the house and keeping myself accountable. But I really wanted to start to really do a productivity series as a kickoff to some of my live content because I'm trying to keep myself pretty much accountable as well. And I'm trying to be more efficient and productive in every aspect of my life. And so I really wanted to kind of really make it simple and easy, not only for myself, but for others to basically, kind of just think through some steps to, take to be more productive. And I feel like trying to be more productive is also building out a daily routine. So again, there are kind of 10 steps we're going to talk about in this live to do so. And let's go ahead and, start to like walk through each of them. So again, welcome to everyone joining in the live. I appreciate all of you joining and let's get this show on the road. Okay. So I would say that building a daily routine is really important, as I mentioned, for just thinking about your overall productivity. Hopefully, you all can see each slide as they come about. I know that, again, with this type of environment and platform, sometimes there's a delay. So if I'm covering something, I'm like, oh, we're going to slide one and you don't see it, just again, say something and I can pause and, kind of catch up for you all to catch up. So, in case you're saying yes, we all need to keep ourselves accountable. Absolutely. So, again, a daily routine can really help to enhance productivity. And I also honestly think overall well being. I think that's really the key in terms of the key driver for me personally, in terms of why I'm really thinking about building a daily routine and being more productive overall. Okay, so let's talk about the first step to doing that. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next slide. So the first slide, hopefully, again, all of you are seeing this. The first step is to set a clear goal. I mean, the important thing is to determine like what is it that me, you, like what are we trying to achieve with a daily routine? Personally, for me, my daily routine is to help me to be more productive in just every aspect of my life. For you, it could be I'm setting a daily routine to improve productivity. It could be to maintain a healthy lifestyle. It could be to like, pursue like a personal interest. It could be to be more efficient in my studies. But having that clear goal in terms of what your daily routine is for is going to guide you to basically setting the structure around your routine and ultimately productivity. So again, have that goal. The thing about it is like for me, when it comes to why I want to do a daily routine or set up one in the most efficient way is that I am trying to be more productive. But I'm trying to be more productive. Why? Because I want to ultimately have a better quality of life. So I'm trying to ultimately like build a healthy lifestyle. And I'm also trying to be productive to build a healthy lifestyle so that I can ultimately also pursue my personal interests, right? So I'm going to still want to be able to like go to work, wake up, feel energized, feel healthy so that I can, again, really be thoughtful about creating content, really be present at work, really be there for my family members, really be like efficient, right, in content creation. So productivity for me is really the driver to building, again, a healthy lifestyle so that I can definitely pursue my interests. So I'm just curious in terms of like, if you are thinking of a daily routine, like what what would be the main driver? What would be the main goal for you if you were thinking of building a daily routine? So let me know in the chat, like what would be again your main drivers for that, and then we will move on to um, number two in terms of what you need to do. Okay, let me check the chat out really quickly. Nkechi, you are saying, okay, Juliet, yes, set your goals is so true. Yes, goal setting is so important. Very, very true. Nkechi says, hey, Juliet, how are you? And that's to Juliet. I'm sure Juliet is doing fine. Juliet, I hope all is well with you. Thank you again so much for joining. And Nkechi says she hopes that you are good. Okay, so step number two in building your daily routine is to identify the priorities. It's like you need a plan. And sometimes I think when we talk about identifying the priorities to building your daily routine, it's like, what does that really, really mean? Well, it's really that you need to determine what it is that you want to achieve with your daily routine, right? So we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. But when it comes to determining what you want to achieve, prioritizing your task is super important to that whole thing. So your task and activities, you want to do that by prioritizing the task and activities based on like the importance of the task or the activity, the urgency of the task or the activity. Understanding the importance of the task or the activity is going to help you to like focus on those things. So, for example, if I'm kind of like, okay, I want to improve my productivity overall, some tasks that I may need to think about prioritizing to improve productivity is like, okay, content creation, for example. I have a 9 to 5 that's super busy, right? Very, very demanding. I want a good quality of life, but I'm trying to prioritize all of that so I can be better efficient in creating content. So, what does that mean? The task that I may need to do is, right, I may need to build out a good file saving structure, a good compressing structure, a good, like structure for me to be able to pull my assets, my digital assets. I may need to organize my everything from, let's say, my overlays, my title cards, my end cards, any logos that I may use. I may need to have that really organized. I may need to build in shortcuts into the various editing platforms. So, like for somebody like me, you know, um, I use Premiere Pro. So I've built in different shortcuts to make sure that when I bring in, let's say, a file into Premiere Pro, it's set up if I'm doing an editing for YouTube or if I'm doing an editing for other social platforms like Instagram or TikTok. That is an efficiency. That is an important task or activity that's going to help me to be more productive. So you really want to identify some of those components, right? So if you are someone who your goal is to, let's say, exercise more or live a better quality of life, what are the tasks and activities that you need to prioritize, right, to make sure that you're most efficient? Having that laid out will really lead into you understanding all the things that you need to do. Again, setting the urgencies and the priorities associated with them so that you can ultimately really start to get into the crux of building your daily routine. Okay. So let me check out the chat just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So in case you say, just need to be sure I can get my daily tasks done. So true. And then you says, yes, prioritization is key. It is so key. And I think we kind of just like, oh, we love being multitaskers. Like everyone's like, I'm a multitasker, I'm a multitasker. And it's like, yeah, that's great. But that can only get you so far, quite honestly. And then Juliet is saying hello to Big Sis Nkechi. And Nkechi's saying, I'm good, Juliet. And then Juliet says, I really appreciate the plan and prioritize. Yes, it's so key. Okay, so let's move on to number three, the third step. So the third step is to establish your morning routine. So again, you've identified your goal in terms of what the overarching is. It prioritizing or just being more, again, efficient? Is it healthy lifestyle? Is it working out more? Is it studying better? Is it I just want to focus on this new thing that I'm trying to do. And so I want to build this routine so that I can be more efficient in this new interest that I have. So once you've identified all of that, the ultimate goal and the task associated with your goal, then you really need to kind of build the routine. And generally, we really want to build a routine starting off with the morning. So you want to establish the morning routine because the morning routine is going to be that thing that's going to springboard or kick off. It is the driver, it is the grounding force for anything that you're doing, honestly, throughout the rest of your day. So establishing your morning routine is going to get you going. And you really want to start your day with intention, right? That is so important. Like I can't even tell you how important it is because all of the different activities that you're going to be doing, throughout your day, everything kicks off with, again, your morning routine. So when you're starting your day with intentionality and building your morning routine, a morning routine could be something like, I want to exercise more, like we've talked about. I want to prioritize exercising more. I want to prioritize, meditation in my morning routine. I want to journal more. Okay. I want to be just more planful. I want to study better. I want to cook, better. I want to, set aside time for my family, that bonding time, or I just want to have me time. So whatever it is, all of those things, I think how you start your morning is really, really important. So really think about establishing a really good morning routine that kicks off all the other things that are happening throughout the day. Okay, I'm going to go back to the chat really quickly and just make sure I am not missing anything. Hey, Sauce, welcome to the live. Sauce says, this is great. The best way to set yourself up for success. Absolutely agree. I think a daily routine is so key. Having a plan for the day to know what you'll be working on. Yes, Sauce, so true. And I'm telling you, I think sometimes it's a bit life changing. Nkechi says, prioritization helps reduce stress and increases productivity. 100% agree with you. Ding, ding. Like stars, like if I was a teacher and I was giving out like, the stickers with the stars, you would totally get one as well. Nkechi says, hello, Sauce. And Sauce says, these are some great tips. Thanks, Sauce. I'm glad you're finding them really helpful. Nkechi says, hello, Sauce. Juliet says, great tips. Totally agree. Thank you, Juliet. Star for you too. And Juliet is saying, hello, Sauce. Hey, Sauce, you're getting lots of welcomes from everyone else in the chat. And Sauce says, hello, Juliet. Nkechi says, I'm trying to build a morning routine checklist. Me too. We're going to get into that a little bit because, man, I feel like personally, like the morning routine is really hard because I have I don't know, I just have different needs throughout the week. And so it's not, the most conducive to have for me like a straightforward morning routine. So Mikechi says the morning routine is great to get your days started. I totally agree. And then I don't know how to say that. It's less one. Thank you so much for joining. I apologize if I am not saying your name correct. And then Kechi says also keeps you on track. Absolutely agree. Kechi's greeting you. I am at Atalis one. And then Nkechi says we should try not to deviate from our morning routine if we can control it. So true. But there's a thought about that later in this discussion about, basically like why you may need to deviate and it could be okay. Okay, so let's move on to number 4 in terms of what it is we need to be doing. Okay. All right. So after we have, again, identified the goals, we have understood the prioritize the task and activity, we've kicked off our morning routine. The morning routine, again, is the driver to schedule everything out. So the next step you want to do is like, okay, I have my morning routine, I know what I want to do, and I am going to now schedule my task. So when you schedule your task, you're allocating a specific time to each slot, to each thing that you have to do. So a different activity will need a different level of attention and a time throughout your day. So to kind of build your schedule, you can use a tools. You can use different tools, right? You may be someone who likes to write things down and keep it in a journal. You can use a regular calendar or digital calendar. You can use a regular planner or digital planner or any other sort of digital tools that are out there for you. Now, personally, for me, this one is, like I mentioned to Nkechi, when I was responding to her comment, it's a little challenging. Welcome, Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so, so much. And as I was telling everyone earlier, I apologize for like the technical glitch that happened. But I'm thankful for everyone who's able to navigate over to this live and is joining me. Thank you so much. So, as I was saying, this is the one that I think is a little challenging for myself and maybe for you in trying to build your daily routine is scheduling the task. I feel like throughout the week, I need a sort of a different morning routine. And I'm going to tell you why. Maybe this may apply to you. My weekend morning routine and my weekend task, daily task, can be very different from the 9 to 5 work week, right? So, for example, when I'm thinking about my daily routine and the task throughout the week, Saturdays and Sundays look very different from Monday through Friday. And then within the Monday through Friday, for me personally, Mondays and a few other days in the week look very different because I am working from home versus other days of the week, like 2 to 3 days, may look very different because I am going into the office. So a hybrid work schedule can also be very challenging to make a very seamless daily routine or even weekly routine, but we all have to try. So this is where I think a planner is helpful. This is where I think, again, scheduling the different tasks, breaking up your routine in the way that you need to will really help me and ultimately you to really be thoughtful about, setting good lifestyle practices, building our routine, and honestly, prioritization is key and important. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the chat really quickly. And again, make sure that I am not missing anything in the chat. So, Rebecca, welcome again. Thank you so much. Oh, you're coming with Goga? Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Goga. Um, this has been a kind of a crazy, crazy morning. I think Juliet is greeting you. I am like, I'll, I am. I'm just going to say I am. And then Rebecca says, see you soon. Sauce says, yes, this video is going to be so helpful. Thank you, Sauce. And feel free, like, I'm going to make sure that once I'm finished with the live, that I make it public. You can go back and review. And if there are any questions or thoughts, you can definitely drop that down for me in the comment section, obviously, of the video when it is officially published, or just ask any questions here in the chat. Rebecca Juliet is greeting you, and Juliet Rebecca is also greeting you as well. And Nkechi's also sending greetings to everyone. Thank you, everyone, for the thumbs up. Nkechi is again greeting Rebecca. She's asking how you're doing, and Rebecca's returning that as well, and so is Juliet. Thank you for the blessings overall, Rebecca, to everyone in the chat, and Nkechi's returning that. And then, Nkechi, you're saying to me, this is a great idea you have here. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you as always. Hopefully, this can get something. This can get we as content creators to plan ourselves out. I hope that it's helpful because I really think planning, daily routine, prioritization is honestly the key. And I think it also helps to set some guardrails. Like it'll help us to kind of be all understanding and accommodating of everyone because we understand that everyone's approaching their life and their kind of engagement with your content through a lens of right a daily routine and prioritizing themselves so they can have the ultimate like an optimal quality of life. You know what I mean? I am is saying, nice content host. My first live will come again. Thank you so much, I am. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming through. Nkechi's saying, scheduling tasks is great motivation to accomplish goals. Absolutely agree with you. And scheduling tasks also helps to prepare for the unexpected. Yes, yes, yes. Sis, did you look at these slides beforehand? Because like you're being very clairvoyant is the word. You're being very clairvoyant at this point, because some of the things you're touching on, we're going to touch on it as we continue to, again, go further into the rest of the presentation. Okay, so let's move on to step 5 and just talk through that. So, step 5 is include breaks. We all have to be able to include breaks. So, you've scheduled your activity, you're doing them, you feel like, okay, everything needs to be really timed out, but you have to make sure that as you're building your schedule, you're thinking about scheduling your me time, your break time, right? Incorporate regular breaks into your routine. I am trying so hard to make sure that I'm incorporating regular breaks into specifically kind of my in the office daily routine, which again I think is very different from my work from home daily routine, because working from home there's a lot more freedom, a lot more flexibility, but in the office sometimes you feel like you have to really be there, or you're just like heads down working away. And I'm trying to make sure that part of my daily routine that I'm actually setting and using my Apple Watch for is to stand up more and not to just be stagnant and sitting down. I'm trying to make sure that I'm building in going for at least a 10 to 15-minute walk. And I started that at the tail end of last month, and I'm going to rev it up this month. So, again, building in breaks into your routine is super, super important. It's just going to really help you to avoid burnout, again, maintain productivity because you're decompressing, you're taking that me time. It's going to help you kind of refresh your mind, honestly. Like, I think we don't value the breaks and the decompression and the like turning everything off. We always feel like we got to multitask again. We got to be there for everybody. We got to do all the things. We got to show up. Build in your breaks and your me time. Short breaks, like throughout your day, can really help you to recharge again and to stay alert and to honestly stay productive. So it's a key one. Add it to your planner, add it to your daily routine scheduler. Okay, going back to the chat to make sure, again, I'm not missing anything, and just, again, staying connected with you all through the chat. So, in Nkechi, you are saying, um, scheduling tasks can help to prepare for the unexpected. Yes, we know life happens, and so it's good to put things together so we are all planned out. 100% agree with you. Why are you being psychic today, or clairvoyant? We're going to talk about building a space for the unexpected. That's coming up as well. Sis, I don't play when it comes to organizing your life. You really don't. I've learned so much from you. And I just think, even you, sis, as a mom, there are things that you did with your children from very young that was very structured, from meal planning to, kind of having a schedule for them, to training them with cleaning, like you're the bomb. So here are your flowers, of course. But there's just such good practice that I already think you have just within you. And I think sometimes just life and work kind of makes us veer away from those good life practices that we already have in general. Okay. And then you say, yes, me time is great. Don't let work, life, kids, and family drive you crazy, because it absolutely will. And honestly, YouTube and every other social media endeavor and platform that we're on, the rat race to that, the I think with the era of monetization and showing your influence in lots of different ways, you can show your influence. But I think showing your influence in terms of like your follower count, your likes, has added a very different lens and level to the content creation kind of landscape. And I also think that the road to monetization, which is super important, as I start to build my other channel, Social with Abby, that is a plug, which is just focused on content creation for smaller YouTubers and bigger YouTubers and content creators in general, and also focusing on like UGC content creation, monetizing your brand. I firmly do not believe that content creators should be creating content for free for brands. I do not believe that. I don't care if you like have 10 subscribers or million. A person with 10 subscribers should be getting paid to create content for a brand. The same way someone with over that amount should be getting paid. So I really just think like with the era of YouTube and other social media platforms, the TikToks, the Instagrams, and so forth and so on, we get so caught up in it. It can be very addictive. It can be very aggressive. You have goals you're trying to reach, good and bad, for good and bad reasons, so to speak. No one wants to sleep forever and wait to be monetized, but you have to prioritize yourself and take breaks. I guess like it'll be there and you're not going to go backwards. You're only going to go forward. It may take a little longer and you can do everything you need to do to make sure that you're closing gaps in terms of monetization, showing your influence faster, but just don't neglect yourself in the process and your daily routine, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay. And Kechi says break is all helpful to balance out life. So agree with you. Thanks for all the hearts. Um, and then Julia says breaks are very important for our general well-being. Absolutely agree with you. We know YT can drive you cray if you let it. It sure can. So many of you in the chat and on this live, I can attest to. I empathize and sympathize with you. I have been on YouTube for way longer than some of you think, and just have not been consistent. Been working on it for the last year and a half, growing slowly. And I think because I've been at it for a long time, I'm a little jaded and used to it. But I think with the encouragement of others in the YouTube community, I'm trying not to just be as a little complacent about it, and feeling encouraged and understanding kind of the struggle with you all, and just trying to again close that gap, meet that goal, and so I can move on to and really put out consistent good content. So I feel you all on YouTube can drive you cray. Um, Julia and Kechi and Julia, you all are agreeing with each other, but we got this, everyone. We got this. And Kechi says yes, content creators should be getting paid from brands, or for yes, you should be getting paid for your brand. You are a brand. So also sometimes I try not to talk too much about content creation on this platform or on this channel, because I have another one dedicated to it, but let's just touch on it really quickly. Honestly, you are a brand, and I think everyone creating content should really be positioning themselves that way and creating content so that should you get to the point where you're monetized and your influence is growing, your influence, even if you have five people are watching you, 10 people watching 100, you already have influence, right? Someone's watching your content. So position yourself that way and really think about how you're crafting and delivering content, because ultimately when you grow to the point where it's all socially acceptable by said brands, because that's just the rules, you want to make sure that when they come to your page, whether it's YouTube or so forth, they feel like you're already positioned in the way that you should be positioned from the brand world to work with you. So I'm going to leave that there, and we can talk about that on another live. I'll schedule another live for that, maybe on this channel or on Social with Avi. Okay. Thank you so much for telling everyone to thumbs up the live, sis. I appreciate you, and everyone watching silently. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. I do not take lightly also those just chilling in the background, washing from the bushes, as they say. All are welcomed. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so let's move on to step 6. Okay, so step 6 is to prioritize self-care. We've kind of talked about this a little bit, so I may not spend a lot of time on this one, but make time for yourself. Okay, exercise, meditate, journal, doodle, look at the sky, do nothing, right? Whatever it is, make sure you're making time for yourself. Play tennis, do a hobby, bake, sing, dance, or again, like literally sit on your behind and do nothing. As long as you're prioritizing self-care, it's all good, okay? Because self-care is really important for your not only your physical, but your mental well-being, so that you can be, again, your most optimal self in these spaces. So I feel like a healthy self is kind of like a happy self. When we're feeling crummy, it shows, and our body tells us. So self-care is super, super, super important for sure. Okay, let's move on to number 7. But before we do, let me go into the chat again. Let's see. I want to make sure again I'm not missing anything. Okay, so Nkechi says, this is great knowledge. Thank you, sister. And you say, I got you, but I know. You always got my back, sister girl. You say, yes, in case you're saying yes, thanks to all our silent watchers. We really do appreciate you, because, some people have some views about silent watchers. I personally am always like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because not everyone engages with content in a very, I don't know, forward facing way. I know myself and my sister and Kechi, like when we join your live, we're going to be we're going to be, and it's not like, hey, look at us, is because again, this is an occupational hazard for me. Like, my role is to create digital content consumer for consumers. And so I'm very, I think I always wear that hat when I go into someone else's, engage with someone else's content. I want to show up in the way that I think I'm just trained to show up and that I want others to show up. But I totally am a live, let live type of person. So I'm kind of like, if you don't want to show up that way, you want to come and, be in the background, totally fine. You're, again, all are welcomed. Um, yes, we definitely appreciate you all. In case you say, nothing like self care, so important. And I am learning about that. And I'm trying to set better boundaries and guardrails about self care and trying to be a little bit selfish. I know that sounds weird, and unapologetic about it, because you can't be everything and all things to everyone at all times. You have to be really present, healthy, happy to even pour into anyone else, right? Like, I have to be present, feeling well, whatever, to engage with your content on social media, to support your live, to watch your video. I, yeah, so it's really, really important. And then Ikechi says, please cater to your needs more than others. So agree. You only live once. So agree. You need to be alive to thrive. Take note. So take care of yourself first. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's right. You tell him, girl. Thank you, sister girl. Okay. All right. For reals, let's move on to number 7 for real now. Okay. So number 7 is to limit distraction. So this goes hand in hand with self-care. You want to really honestly like limit the distractions, minimize them so that you're not honestly derailed in your routine and the things that you set up for yourself. So take the breaks, relax, but then get back to it. Don't be like, okay, my break time, extend it when you need to, be flexible, but don't, like, it's a balance. It's really honestly a balance. Another thing, and I know as content creators, we don't want to hear it, but we also equally need to reduce the screen time. We are so, kind of programmed to not only create and deliver content, but we are also kind of programmed to support, right, other creators. And I know that I feel awful sometimes when I mean, not sometimes, a lot. Like, I beat myself up a lot when I'm like, I haven't supported a creator that I'm like, that's on my radar. Like, I was one of the creators that I was trying to go look for recently because I felt like I hadn't supported her in a while, was like Mama's Handprint. And I was like, I've been telling my sister, like, I need to go to Belinda. I need to go to Mama's Handprint. I need to go to Julia. I need to go like all these people. And that's just what we do. It's just like kind of what we do, but it is hard. And we have to make sure that we're kind of like, okay, we know we're going to get there, maybe not at the rate that we want to in terms of support, but we're going to get there. So we equally need to reduce the amount of screen time and YouTube time and social media time that we're also dedicating, because it can be a distraction to try to be, again, all things and everywhere. And we like to say we're the jack of all trades, but I think multitasking is good and it can also be bad. Multitasking can also equally be a distraction. So we also want to just be thoughtful about that. Again, it's all a balance. So by basically eliminating distractions, you're going to create a conducive environment, again, to focus on the things that you need to be focused on, to concentrate and give your time and attention to the things that you need to give your time and attention to, again, which is all cohesively tied into building a really thoughtful daily routine so that you can be the most productive, so you can show up as your best version of yourself. All right. So before we move onward, I am going to go back to the chat, of course, and check out what's being said. Okay. Nkechi is give. Oh, that's. Oh, who is WY something D? I'm just going to say WYD, but I feel like it's like Wyndham or something like that. Hello, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for stopping through. Nkechi says, okay, this is great information. Thank you, Nkechi. Thank you, sister dear. Distractions make it difficult to stay focused. They really do. And it's so funny. Distractions can be so nuancey. Again, the screen times, the supporting everyone, the being there for your family unit. Like, if you have a family, the distractions, I call them sensories, which is like the kids and the husbands and yourself, like the family, the moms, the dads, the sisters, the brothers, all of the sensories, all the things you have to do are distractions, but they're not always negative, right? You have to take care of your family. You have to do what you have to do. But again, when you kind of set those guardrails and you're thinking more holistically about your routine and you're thinking about quality of life, there are things you can do to make those distractions feel more intentional, um, yeah, than not. Okay, Nkechi says support when you can and when you are able to. 100 degree, and when you can't, all of your fellow content creators should understand. And again, hopefully that they do. Find other ways to support, like coming back to watch a live stream, connect on video, watch a video. One should agree with you. If you cannot, which is why I was like, I need to go check out Mama's hamper. Like I don't know why she was just in my on my heart. And yesterday I was going to find her, and she had a live. She had never done a live, and she was doing a live, and I was able to just kind of just show her and connect with her right there on her live. And I was just really happy to be able to do so. But it'd been maybe over like a week or two since I'd connected with her, and I was feeling really bad about it. But again, sometimes you have to just give each other grace and understand that we're not forgetting each other. Everyone's just super busy in their lives, and people are going to connect with your content. Sometimes not at the rate that you want them to, like all the time or daily. I'm sure there are people who would maybe want to be on this live with me, are missing it for a variety of different reasons. The technical glitch, stuff's going on. This is not the most opportune time for them. They're tired, they're sleeping, all sorts of stuff. Maybe they'll come back and watch, maybe they won't, but I'm pretty sure they'll join me in some capacity on my community and on this YouTube journey at a time that's more conducive for them. So that is honestly my stance on it. I kind of really operate from that lane truthfully, and I just hope that others are giving content creators, we're giving each other that kind of grace and understanding. Okay, Nkechi says, "Don't get worked up when you can't." I know I need to work on that for myself. I'm really kind of critical on that for myself. Like, oh my god, I need to go and support, but I'm also trying to really again be a little bit more like, okay, I can't today because you have this routine and you're prioritizing self care, and it's just not, you just can't do it. Or you can't do it in this hour when they're on, that kind of thing. Find other ways. Okay, yeah, you said find other ways to connect, live stream, and all. And then you're greeting WID, and Nkechi's asking, how are you? Um, Thanks to all for joining the live. Yes, absolutely. We appreciate everyone that's joining and coming in and out. Um, you joined Mama's live yesterday, Nkechi. Yeah, I know. I was really happy to see her, and it's kind of nice to connect to the face, which I think why it's so important for Face Live, to like a picture that you see in like a thumbnail. It just gives, you can get people's kind of like countenance, their character. There's something about their tone and their character. If they're mellow, upbeat, like Althea is so upbeat. And so you can get that because you see her, you hear her tone and her voice. So there's something to be said about those face, voice, in person lives. And then you said it was nice to jump on her live. Absolutely. Okay. So let's move on to step 8. All right. So step 8 in the daily routine is to be flexible. I touched on this earlier. Flexibility is so important because we have to be able to adapt, right? It's important because while you have a routine, right, you want to be flexible because your routine is meant to provide you structure, obviously, but honestly, life is happening. So being able to adapt will help you to adjust and pivot, ebb and flow with kind of like the expected things that really happen in life. So being flexible is kind of feels like it's like what I thought the routine's meant to like keep me like really rigid and in this thing, so I'm really hyper focused. But honestly, you can have a routine and something's gonna come up that like you wake up one morning and let's say you're like, I know that I'm going to this coffee shop and I'm gonna pick up my coffee by this time, and then I'm gonna go and get a quick workout at this gym before I head into work. And that day you wake up, you may head to the coffee shop, get the coffee, and then God forbid something happens to like the tires, and you absolutely miss that workout. Which for you, the working out is like essential to like getting yourself all wrapped up. What are you going to do? Are you going to have like no? So you have to be able to be flexible and adapt to the situations, and again, kind of ebb and flow. The other thing that flexibility will help you just to think of is sometimes we create this routine with our present situation in mind, and anything can happen in life to change it, whether it's you're moving to a different phase in your life in a short amount of time that you created the routine, or long amount of time. Something happens, let's say maybe you've graduated, you have this routine and you've graduated, or God forbid, let's say you like transition to a different job or you lose your job. You have to be flexible to adjust even your routine to fit your new or evolving situation. So just think about, that flexibility is equally important as part of an overall structure to your daily routine. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to the chat and just see what's going on there. Okay. Nkechi is saying flexibility is important. Consider alternate options because things are subject to change. Be ready to accept new experiences. 100% agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Okay. So let's move on to step 9. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, WYD. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hope everyone here is doing well, is what WID is saying. All right. So, step 9. Okay. So, step 9 is a very important one. Your goals, your activities, right? You've done your morning routine, you've scheduled things out, you built in self care, you're being flexible, you're adapting, all those things. But it's important to equally, as I mentioned, evaluate. You have to kind of reflect and evaluate, right? Regularly review your routine, right? It's going to be really, really important that you're regularly reviewing your daily routine to basically assess like its effectiveness. Assess its effectiveness in terms of where you are currently in your life. And if something has evolved or changed, you want to review it to make sure like, is it adaptable, as we talked about earlier, to this new situation that I'm in now. You want to identify areas also of improvement. So that's where the flexibility and adaptability comes in. You don't want to be like, oh, I build this routine and I have to, definitely stick to it. Anything can happen in life. So you want to be assessing and reviewing and then adjusting your routine, and picking right back up. You definitely want to be reflecting on like what's working well, again, what isn't, where do I need to tweak and shift to make like any necessary adjustments so that your routine is definitely optimized for the most maximum efficiency and ultimately the most maximum productivity and ultimately the most like to maximize your quality of life. I think all of this really funnels up to living the most bestest version of you and having the best quality of life, and that's what productivity in the form of a daily routine can help you to do. Okay. So before we kind of move on, I'm going to again go back to the chat, see what's going on there. Nkechi says, we are not all going to be on the same page, but should understand. I agree. Kechi saying hello to you, WID. She says she's doing okay. And then Nkechi said, it's a great Sunday. And I think that's in response to how she's doing and how the day is going. So I really am curious to know from your perspective, like if you were building a daily routine. I think I touched on a couple of things earlier. My goal for really kind of retooling and adjusting my daily routine is to be the most productive version of myself. So let me know in the chat if you're thinking of building a daily routine. Again, what would be your ultimate goal for that? Like, is it productivity? Is it to study better? Is it to improve your quality of life? Is it, to like pursue a specific interest or project? For example, sometimes some people may build a routine because they're building a house or they're doing some sort of project and they need some sort of structure to itemize the task of the day so that they can get through it in the most efficient way so they don't feel so scatterbrained. Some people may be building a daily routine because they're like planning for a wedding or getting ready to go off to college and maybe they need to like do all these different things like write your essay, apply, right? Get your recommendation letter. There, a daily routine is so broad and it's not as rigid as we think. So in the chat, let me know what is basically the basis or the reason, the ultimate goal that you would have in mind when you want to or should you want to build a daily routine. The other thing that I want to know from you all is, how would you track your daily routine? Like, are you a type of person that would use like a planner, a calendar, or some sort of digital tool? So those two things, what would be the ultimate goal or purpose, and how would you kind of craft or hold on to your schedule? Calendar, written planner, or something digital? Let me know in the chat. Okay. let's move on to the final step. And we can also revisit and be chatting about those two questions and a few others later on as we kind of like start to wind down. Okay. All right. So the last step in the process is to stay consistent because honestly, you have created this, right? You've created this routine to, for me, I've created this routine to be the most productive version of myself. It's important that I stay consistent with it. It's important that I'm reviewing it. It's important that I'm adapting to it. It's important that I'm being flexible with it. But consistency is the key to building habits that you can maintain that ultimately funnel up to you having the most successful daily routine. So you want to try to again be flexible with whatever it is that you're doing, but you still want to try to be really thoughtful and intentional about sticking to a schedule as much as possible. Um, and staying consistent. A way to stay consistent. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm going on vacation and this and that is happening, and your whole routine goes out of the window. But you may want to think about being consistent even through a vacation. So, for example, if you're going like on a weekend getaway or an extended vacation, and part of your daily routine is to, morning routine is to like get up and journal, take that journal with you, journal there. If it's to exercise, exercise. If it's to drink more water, drink more water. If it's to study, study. Like, just be really thoughtful about consistency no matter what you're doing in terms of your daily routine. Like, it is so key to be consistent in your routine. Be flexible, be adaptable, and all that's good stuff, but make sure that you are staying consistent because honestly, consistency is key. It's going to help you to reinforce those good, right practices that you're taking your time to develop when you're, oh my gosh, my chat is doing something, but I'm going to get to that before I lose my train of thought. Consistency is going to help you to reinforce all the things that you have spent your time doing while you're crafting this routine. Like, you're spending your time thinking of your goal, you're spending your time thinking of the task and the activities you want to do for this daily routine to be more productive. You're building in a morning routine, and honestly probably an afternoon routine, and then honestly probably a nighttime routine, right, in that schedule, scheduling everything out, thinking about where you need buckets of breaks. So you want to reinforce all of those good energy and time that you spent to build your routine by trying to be consistent, trying to be flexible, and still being adaptable. But consistency is key. So don't go on vacation. Don't, I don't know, do whatever. And then it's just like you're not being consistent with your daily routine. It's going to help you to, again, enforce good behaviors, positive behaviors to achieve your ultimate goal. Okay, something's going on in the chat. So let me go and check that out. I'm going to scroll all the way back up. Let's see here. Um, Bear with me. I'm trying to get caught up and make sure I'm not missing anything or rereading anything. Let's see. Okay, I am so far up. Okay. Okay, so I think you said, Nkechi says, you should not underestimate the power of self-reflection. So true. Okay, and in terms of the question I asked earlier, in terms of, I think there's a lot of people who joined the live, and I really want to just acknowledge all of you. I think coming from Goga, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you all joining the live. I had a technical glitch earlier with starting it, so I started this live way late, and I just assumed people had moved on with whatever it is they're doing, and I totally understand. So thank you so much, everyone who's joining in. This whole live is all about just steps to take to build a daily routine to ultimately just lead to a more productive lifestyle. So I'm going to be doing a productivity series, and this is just basically the first one in it, as I'm trying to build a, honestly, revamp, I would say, my daily routine for someone who is a hybrid worker. So I need a weekday, 2 weekday routines that funnels up into an overall kind of like 7-day routine, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to go through the chat to read some of the comments that were left as I was going through step 10, but I'm definitely going to continue to scroll down and acknowledge everyone. So thank you so much to everyone who's joining and everyone who's watching silently. Thank you to everyone who's given the live a thumbs up so far. I really honestly appreciate your time because you could be doing anything, but you're joining me today. So all right. So Nkechi says, I like to use a checkoff list. So Nkechi, you said, yes, it would be productivity. So that would be kind of the reason for creating a daily routine for you would be productivity. The question I asked earlier was that if you were creating a daily routine, what would it be for? Mine is productivity. Someone else could be to live a better quality of life, exercise, so forth. Let me know in the chat. And Kechi says, I need to ensure I'm meeting my daily and weekly, monthly goals. Absolutely. You said, or write something. So you said that you would use a checklist in terms of the format that you would be tracking or keeping track of your routine. And you will write something on a planner that I can take around with me. See, I would want a digital thing. I'm not really a notebook and pen type of person. I want a digital tools because I feel like I can take that with me. But again, you got to do what works for you in terms of keeping your routine handy. Goga Ray, there it is, all the comments. Thank you so much. Um, hmm, Amaz Day. I feel like I'm not pronouncing that right. Welcome, Les. Hello, Helen. Hi, Goga. Hi, Rabatina. Hello, Nato. I'm not pronouncing some of these names right, and I apologize. Hello to everyone joining from Goga's raid. Thank you so, so much. Welcome, everyone. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. Thank you so much. And I apologize if I'm not acknowledging you specifically by name. I welcome all of you. Greetings. Thank you. I so appreciate you all joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I was telling someone that there are just a few people at GoGo who are kind of like they make stuff happen. They're always like making stuff happen. They're always like movers and shakers, like moving and shaking. Thank you so much. I really, really honestly appreciate you all joining. I'm just trying to see. I think there are lots of greetings going back and forth to everyone in the live. So please make sure you're connecting with each other, showing each other love. Obviously, if you are not familiar with someone on here, be curious about them, go visit their houses. And I know that there's just such a great wealth of folks that are just good people overall in this community, and they will definitely show you love right back. Um, so Les says, thank you. Evangelist says, Les, thank you for the love. Um, thank you, Les. So lots of greetings back and forth. And I think just acknowledgement of my welcome to you all. I really honestly appreciate it. Um, and then Nkechi says, please, if I missed you, forgive me. I think she's just been trying to catch up to everyone and greet them, probably also on my behalf. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any. Hello, Samit. Hello, Miss Wendy. I'm missing anyone specifically. But again, if I missed you, I apologize if I didn't call you out by name. Um, Oh, thank you for enjoying the topic of discussion. This will be shared on a playlist. I'm going to create a productivity lifestyle playlist. So this will be part of there. Feel free to rewatch it again through that playlist. Drop any questions or comment. But this will be a series that I'll be doing in terms of just again lifestyle productivity. And again, apologize for the technical glitch. It's just life just has to keep lifing. Goga says, dear tribe, this is your captain. Thank you for landing safely and giving the host that thumbs up. Thank you, Goga. You are amazing. May you continuously be blessed for just everything you're doing, encouraging the community, always corralling the community. It does not go unnoticed, honestly. And I just hope you continue to get your flowers and your blessings. And to everyone who, joins in and supports, just everyone, thank you so much. Juliet, I still see you on here. God's Child TV, thank you so much. And again, congratulations on your earlier achievement. I think I mentioned that earlier. I just want to make sure I'm not missing. I think there's just lots of hellos and congratulations going, through on the chat and just notifications of that this was a good discussion. So Goga says, haha, Abi, you can't keep up with the chat. No, I can't. I can't, Goga. It's just little old me here, just chatting away. But I appreciate you all so much. Is Keon says, in Kechi, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Again, lots of congratulations. And then Marlon says, my daily routine would be to make sure I eat enough jerk pork and drink sangria. That is such a refreshing daily routine. I love it. And I say you should go forth and conquer. I like it. It's real. Like, you got to enjoy life. I beg. Like, you have to enjoy life. You have to enjoy life. So yeah, that was one of the questions, just like, what would yours be? Mine is productivity. I need to be more productive because honestly, life is lifing. So hopefully, again, I'm not missing anyone. I feel like I have hopefully acknowledged everyone. And again, thank you to anyone joining since I made the last acknowledgement. but I appreciate you all joining. So I'm going to go on to the last slide to kind of, wrap things all up. And it's just kind of the closing takeaways. I mean, I started this live about an hour ago. And again, I want to be thoughtful of everyone's time. And I appreciate you all coming. So again, this has been all about productivity and routine. So the takeaway basically that I want to really leave you all with are just kind of to reinforce the things that we talked about, right, is that a daily routine is really important. I think it's a key driver, it's a grounding force to just living your most best and optimal life. I think taking the hour or even, I don't know, week that it may take you to create your, really think about the goals, right? The goals that you want to do. Um, Identify the priorities with the task associated with that routine, right? Scheduling the task, including your breaks, prioritizing your self care, thinking about all of those things, and ways to eliminate distraction, ways to be more flexible, ways to reflect and evaluate, and ways to be consistent as you're crafting your routine is really going to help you. I have not only been trying to retool my daily routine, but I also have like part of my daily routine is a built-in like digital automation. There are things in my home that I've tried to automate, like turning the lights on, turning them off, setting reminders through Alexa to like remind me to do certain things, right? Like wash your face, which seems so silly, but we can again get caught up in all the other things in our lives that we kind of, I think a big thing is forget self-care and just other things can go out the window. If I'm trying to set automation as part of my daily routine, and I'm going to do a separate live and a separate video on that to help me to say things like get off social media, or did you, like, reminders, did you cook today, did you drink water? These things seem kind of silly, but we are so busy in the kind of the rat race of life that I think we just forget these tiny little tasks, these tiny little reminders, these tiny little routines that are set through a daily routine can really help to keep us on track so that, again, we're just showing up as our best self. So those are my closing thoughts and takeaways. Again, I'll be talking more about different components related to um, productivity, living the most productive lifestyle through a routine of some sort. I think the next series or the next video is just going to be about how I'm building out my morning routine. I think it starts there to your afternoonish and then evening, and then how I'm also tying in automation into making my life more productive. Because I just really want to show up as my best self, and I think those of us who are content creators, it's a full-time job. And so if you have a job on top of that, whether your job is going into an office or doing whatever, or being a parent, or just living your own self as a single person, life is a job already. So content creation, and doing it for whether you have one channel, two channels, or multiple platforms, TikToks and so forth, it is a job. And so I think a routine will really help you to be more efficient in all your various jobs in your life. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the chats and just check out, and then we will be wrapping up. Um, Let me see if I can catch myself up. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to start off with, Les, why are you showing me? Life is lifing. Yes, absolutely agree. Um, I forgot to sab done. Goga, remember, we'll go anywhere you go. Yes, Goga, you have, again, you have a very strong community, which I feel like I'm part of. So I'm glad to be part of your community as well, and I really appreciate everyone's support on this live. Honestly, like, you all are amazing. Sis, this is very informative. Thank you, sister. Goga, I'm sorry, but deal with it. Laugh out loud. Um, there's thanks to you, Goga. Lots of thanks for getting everyone landed safely. It looks like, Goga, I don't know if people had to go through immigration this time around, because last time, I think on a different live, people were held up in like customs or something. So hopefully this was less cumbersome and there weren't too many people held up in customs as they were making their way over to me. And if you were, my apologies. Hopefully your flight next time will be a lot smoother and you'll land really, really well. Okay, so it says a pleasure in Keiichi. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to thumbs up the live. Yep, I'll be wrapping up soon. So no, sister, those small things do matter. They really, really do. And then, yes, it's true, Captain. All content creators, please keep pushing forward. That is great encouragement from Ikechi. You can do this. Yes, do not be discouraged by your fluctuation of watch hours and so forth and so on. You're not going to go backwards, is what I always say. Like, I'm not going to go backwards to zero, subscribers or whatever watch hours. I'm only going to keep going forward, and you will too. So just hold to that. You will definitely cross that finish line. Sometimes it's not exactly at the time that we want. It may be a little later, or maybe a little faster, but you're going to cross it. Um, my phone reminds me when to get off social media so I don't overdo too much. I'm setting an automation for that, honestly. I just need to time it out a little bit so it's not like going off like now. Alexa could just go off and say whatever. So I want to make sure that I'm timing that out a little bit well. So, but that's a very good point, Miss Wendy. Then Nkechi says, and all non content creators, thanks for all your support you provide to everyone. I absolutely agree. There's so many out there. Thank you so much for providing us support, those of us who create content when you don't, and spending so much of your time on here with us on YouTube and other social media when you're not getting anything really, honestly, for the time that you spend commenting and supporting us. Wishing all of you a very productive week and praying you all enjoy the rest of your day from Nkechi, and I concur and echo that. And Nkechi says, awesome. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate you and everyone joining. Um, there's lots of welcomes and acknowledgement of different sentiments that have been said in the chat. And it says, I'm connected to you, host. Thank you so much. And I will make sure to do the same. I'm definitely going to watch this back. And there's so many new people in the chat, and I will definitely be connecting. I know there's kind of a wait period. So wait, connect, but I will definitely be connecting with lots of you because I just want to. I'm interested in what everyone is doing that's joining me today, and I'm really interested in meeting new individuals. So love it here. Thank Goga for the link. Yes, blessings to Goga. And Marlon says, I don't even have to set a reminder for when my electricity or data needs to be paid. They spare no time reminding me. Marla, I don't know who you are, but if you left that earlier comment, you're a funny person, and I love the energy. I love the energy. Yes, I agree with you. You don't have to set a reminder; they will literally auto take it out or do whatever they need to do. Um, and then, Nkechi says, "Love the presentation, girl. You did your thing. Thank you so much." Um, I really want to go through these a bit quickly because, again, I know this was supposed to be an hour live and it was already late. So I think that's everything. Lots of connected, lots of acknowledgement that people are going to be connecting with everyone. Please do so as much as is feasibly possible for you. Connect with those who resonate. It is definitely not by force. But I do think there's really something important in creating a community and connecting with creators, and also really acknowledging and connecting with those who aren't creators who come and support us honestly on a very, very regular basis. So thank you so much to everyone for joining the live. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to wish you a blessed Sunday and week. I hope to see a lot of you on different lives. Again, let's be thoughtful and gracious to everyone when they can't join the live for whatever reason. People should definitely go back as time permits to rewatch lives, connect in videos. There are multiple ways to connect and show up for each other, but let's just give each other grace because life, as we say, is lifing. But thank you, thank you 1,000 times so much for spending some of your Sunday with me. Be blessed and enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. I'll see you all on your videos, my next live or your next live. All right, bye.